Chico, now settle down, buddy. You know what time it is? Chico, I'm going live now. What do you want, buddy? Huh? You got your position on. Here. Look. Come on. Look. You see all these bones? Come on. Billy just came out, Carol. Yeah. Oh, Chris is getting in there. God darn it. Now Chico's going crazy. God damn. Oh, dang it. Where I can go to. What's your email? Or text me your email. Hang on, you guys. I'm having issues right now. Kay got her wrench, and Chico's going crazy right now. So hang tight. We'll get going here shortly. Lori, Chris, you settle down. Settle down. You know what time it is. I might have to. I'm gonna. I can't try StreamYard. Chico, settle down. Settle down. You gotta lay down. I can't do this while he's. Shoot. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. You go lay down now. Go lay down. I'm busy right now, buddy. Get up here. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, hi Lisa. I've been on. I have a lot of channels like Hawk. I never stopped. I got over 1 million views now. But tonight we're having issues. My mod, I can't. Hang on. I'm gonna. Hopefully this will work. Hang tight, everybody. I'll be in shortly. Yeah, I'll be starting. It's gonna be a little late here. I'm having trouble getting K in. And Lisa, my times will be 5 o'clock during the week, and then the weekend it changes on the weekend in the evening. Uh, what happened? Yeah, sorry if we're having issues right now. I'll talk when I get this out. Kay got the buttons were off again, and Kay can't get in, so we gotta. So we're gonna be starting here shortly. Yeah, Starfire, can you explain to Lisa about? Yeah, she said it's been a long time. I told her I had backup channels. We never left. Hopefully Kay will be in here. I'm not going to start till she gets in here. Oh, come on. It's got to work. I get it right. Okay, I think Kay got my link. Yeah, when Kay gets, she's trying to get in. When she drops the links to my channels, I got two backup channels for Lisa and the new one from Canada. I don't see her yet. Hopefully she gets back in here. Where's everybody at? AM must be busy tonight. Kimberly must be really busy. Haven't seen her in a while. Dave and Greg's probably lurking. This is my dog Chico I got a while back. I don't understand this. Chico, man, you're bad tonight. Huh? Hang tight, everybody. Hang tight. She's still not in there. This is terrible. Probably 5:30 when we start. She should get in now. I don't understand this. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead. Kay's watching, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll try to get it. Kay, try again. I just did something. Keep trying. I'm going in Telegram right now. Nine minutes.
Now come the days of the king.
Donald Trump was gifted a crown in Korea, which I think is amazing and is a massive troll. by the Koreans who are based against the No Kings protest. That's just the way I'm gonna. This is the way I'm gonna vibe with this story. Trump given golden crown in South Korea as host hails his golden age. I love it. We have some amazing videos from this. Can you scroll down to please, Klein? Killer Klein, show the crown. Show us the crown. It's a very Korean crown. Okay, this is not like an English crown. No, bro, you went right by it, brother. This is what I'm talking about. This is like a very Korean crown. Look at that thing. Look at that. That is the crown. Look. Can we please do a change.org petition for Trump to wear that crown? Here's what I need. I need the No Kings protesters out front of the White House. I need Donald Trump to exit onto the balcony, to be wearing the crown, and then to give a very kingly wave to the No Kings protesters, and then to cry a single tear of happiness. This is what I need. There's the crown. It's just such a great troll. I want to go to South Korea. ALX and I were invited to South Korea. ALX never followed up. Sucks. Everybody yell at ALX in the comment section. We were invited. So it's okay. So here's what happens. I'm not going to, don't yell at ALX. He's such a sweet and wonderful man. He'll go into his cyber truck and cry after the show. I don't want that. ALX and I were at Student Action Summit. And when you're at these summits, just like we're in DC, and Klein, do you have some of the stuff from last night? I do want to do some shout outs to our friends at Heritage here and for what we did last night with Tulsi Gabbard is pretty cool. When you're in these events, there's a lot of very interesting opportunities. People come up to you and they chat with you, and sometimes you don't know who's legit and who's not. And this is legit. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard's legit. This was us last night here at Heritage. But we were at Student Action Summit, and a woman comes up to us and is like, yo, I'm Korean. I'm like the Korean Donald Trump. You should come to my Korean Donald Trump festival in Korea. I was like, that sounds awesome. ALX, get her information. And like, fast forward a month later, I see Charlie Kirk in Korea, like walking around doing a very famous TikTok actually, where he's like, look at how beautiful it is in Korea and look at how nice it is. I wonder why, right? I wonder why. So ALX, it turned out that was a real invite. ALX is now defending himself in the chat, saying they never reached out to me. Okay, they never reached out to me. Well, ALX, listen, the chat's telling you the same thing. You need to just learn Korean. Why doesn't ALX learn Korean? Like ALX AI, he just learns how to speak Korean. You could probably do it this weekend. All right, Cybertruck will teach you. But anyway, the point is that Koreans are based, I guess. Freaking great. Donald Trump was greeted with the YMCA. A band was playing YMCA as President Trump walked into Korea. Amazing. Let's listen. Okay. I love it. I love it. So we have video of Trump getting the crown to troll the No Kings protesters. Let's roll the sucker, Klein.
The Cheonggyecheon gold crown symbolizes the divine connection between the authority of the heavens and sovereignty on earth, as well as the strong leadership and authority of a leader.
경주를 국비대로 차리신 우리 트럼프 대통령님께 한반도에 처음으로 평화를 가져온 신라의 정신과 함께 한미 동맹의 푸른기를 상징하는 이 금관을 선물로 준비하였습니다.
We present this gold crown to you on this joyous occasion of your state visit to Gyeongju, because it symbolizes the spirit of Silla, which brought peace to the Korean peninsula for the first time, and the opening of the golden age of the Korea-U.S. alliance.
I am begging you, I'm begging team, please grab this tweet. Donald Trump is saying that he wants to wear it all right now. Trump was awarded Korea's highest honor. I don't believe in South Korea and North Korea. It's all one Korea. North Korea must be defeated. We must take it back from the communists. I agree in the reunification of Korea under the good and rightful stewardship of the intrepid Korean people. I don't acknowledge North Korea. North Korea is a obviously a failed communist experiment of cruelty. So just one Korea. Trump was given Korea's highest honor, the Grand Order of Mangshwanga. Mangshwanga.
I'd like to wear it right now.
Isn't that amazing?
Thank you so much.
Trump says, I want to wear it right now.
Thank you very much, everybody.
This is the Grand Order of Mangshwanga. I'm begging you, Mr. President, put it on. Donald Trump saying, I want to wear it right now. Well, it looks like it's like a giant golden necklace and a couple of giant golden, medals. Let's see it, Klein. Let's have a look. Let's watch that one more time, please. Yeah. I could see Trump wearing that drip. I could see it. Trump just like walking out, with that and the crown. If he wore that and he wore the crown, I think he'd be looking great. Okay. President Trump being honored and then speaking to CEOs in Korea saying, my administration has rejected the old model of incompetent government.
If I'm being honest with you, dental implants hadn't even crossed my mind. I thought I was going to end up with dentures, My mom got dentures, my grandmother had dentures, my grandfather had dentures, so I...
Government.
The deals we're signing with our friends and partners are making our alliances closer and stronger than ever before, and they respect us because it was so foolish. The people that ran our country were so foolish. With these agreements, our nations will extend our vital security alliances into the realm of economic security for the first time ever. We're forging new partnerships on strategically important industries like shipbuilding, energy, semiconductors, critical minerals, and, very important pharmaceuticals. We learned that during COVID. We had to rely on other countries to give us pharmaceuticals. You can't do that. You have to, certain industries you want to have there. You want to have your medicines made, ideally, in your own country. Many of our agreements also include deepening collaboration of industries of the future, such as nuclear, quantum, artificial intelligence, where America is number one by a lot. Actually, we're really number one by a lot. We're number one in military.
Everybody okay in chat?
Consequence, we're number one in military, in the quality of the weapons. That's why everyone wants to buy for us. I'll tell you what we have a long lead on is submarines, nuclear submarines. We are so far advanced that by perhaps 20, 25 years. We're 25 years ahead of any competition. And not only are the tariffs strengthening our alliances, they're also bringing peace to the world. On Sunday in Malaysia, we signed the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accords, ending forever the war between Cambodia and Thailand. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. So, did you guys see this clip?
What Mike didn't mention then was the bonus he was due if the big guys stayed in. Were there any circumstances in which you would have received a bonus? Yes, there was. What were those circumstances? That Joe Biden would have been reelected president of the United States. What was the bonus of that? I believe it would have been $4 million. Scratchy voice.
Well, we all knew pay to play, right, you guys? They were bought off to tell the truth. We all knew that. $4 million. And did you watch that video with the one I sent you? How was it? Garbage? Kay's having, I don't know what happened to my buttons, my settings tonight. Kay can't get in. I told her to try another name. So we got that done. So I'm going to play this for about 5 minutes. Ah, I thought that was something, but I guess it wasn't. Okay. Let's play. We got a couple Patriot Princess, and then we'll play those two, and then we'll get Derek. Oh wait, I got a lot of short ones, you guys. We're gonna do some short ones.
I had to come down and see it for myself. And I'm outside of the entrance, the security entrance to the east, and the east wing is literally completely gone. There's nothing left. From here, all you can see is nothing. Just from here straight to the White House.
Oh, she has one out.
They managed to tear down the entire
Blue K is in, Carol. I like that color, Kay.
You know, and it's such a metaphor for what's happening.
I'll play it.
Our democracy, Constitution, the rule of law. 4 days. Literally 4 days. Donald Trump tore down the East Wing in 4 days. This is literally one of the most historic buildings in the United States. No permit, no permission, no congressional oversight, no appropriations. He just went and did it. He asked his billionaire friends to give him money, corporations who have business in front of the White House. His campaign donors raised $300 million to build a vanity project and demolition one of the most historic buildings in the United States. And meanwhile, he literally is cutting off food assistance to 40 million Americans. Grandmothers who take care of their grandchildren, veterans who are struggling, children. He is literally telling the states to not fund SNAP and food assistance starting Saturday, while he is building a $300 million ballroom and demolitioning the White House. And his own press secretary said it herself last week. This is his number one priority. Not feeding the American people, not addressing their healthcare crisis, not trying to get the government reopened, not trying to fix things. His number one priority is building a $300 million ballroom for himself.
That matches.
In fact, he's not even here. He got on a plane to Asia. He doesn't plan to reopen the government. He's not trying to feed the American people. He's not trying to fix healthcare. Mike Johnson shut down the House once again. 5th week in a row. Lockout. Closed down. They don't care. We're literally weeks away from the beginning of the holidays, and they are literally talking about cutting off food assistance to 40 million Americans. So we are here to fight back and use every tool that we have. You know, it's hard. We're in the minority in Congress. We don't have a lot of power, but we are fighting back every single day. And we're here this week. We're using the courts. We're supporting all these lawsuits. The states are filing a lawsuit to get the SNAP funds that are in this $8 billion contingency fund release, because he is
Does it say 20 minutes on it?
There's money there. He is
I got one for 20
to
minutes.
let Americans starve rather than allow that money to go out. So our states are going to sue. And we're using every tool that we have. But it is dark times. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel when I came down here. You know, I worked in this complex for 4 years during the Obama administration.
We'll play it.
But it's as bad as I thought it was going to be. But we got to keep fighting, because literally this is our democracy. This is our future. This is our country. So we've got to do everything that we can. So I'm here to do my part. I'm gonna head back across town to Capitol Hill, and I'm gonna get to work.
I don't know who that lady was, but discussion about the ballroom. So, okay, Lisa, I was telling her we never left. We just got a lot of channels, and can you put in the 2 backup channels? Now it's red. It's not purple no more. It's back to red. The red one and the orange one for that one person that was at the first video. I don't see him back in yet. I don't know if it's a lady or man. They said they were from Canada. Hopefully they'll get in here. But we gotta drop the backup links. So yep, Lisa. 5 o'clock will be the times. Oh.
That this ballroom being built at the White House has anything to do with the ballroom, you are sadly mistaken. Seriously, guys. The minute I heard it, I said, what are they really doing? What's really going on? There's always something behind the scenes. This is all just smoke and mirrors. And so here's what I want you to do. This is a little investigative thing for you. Look up the plans for Solomon's Temple. And then look up the plans for this ballroom. They are almost identical. And isn't it funny how in this ballroom it seats 999 people? Inverted, that would be the 666s. It's so obvious what's going on. And did you know that they have a no-fly zone over it? The construction is so high you can't see what's going on. Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that make sense? Because in Solomon's Temple, he used demons, fallen angels, to build his temple. What if this Atlas thing, what if this thing that's coming is going to build that temple and nobody will know what's going on? It already connects to bunkers and tunnels. Roosevelt said it himself. Do the research, people. Don't fall for what they tell you. They're lying. They always lie. There's always something behind the scenes. Again, that this ballroom being built.
That was a good one, huh? I think she's right. I don't think it's going to be a ballroom. So those are 2 clips on the ballroom. Okay, we got that one. Okay, we'll do the 2 Patriot Princess. Then we'll do Billy Bean. And then we'll do Nancy Drew.
As well as high technology laser capabilities. And then you can see the Navy ships that have the high-powered electromagnetic wave transmitters too.
45,000 transmit-receive modules, and this antenna can detect an object the size of a baseball at a range of 2,500 miles. That is why I say this thing can project all that power into a pinpoint beam, totally computer controlled. The dome is 120-foot diameter. The power source is 6 3.6 megawatt generators for a total of almost 22 megawatts. And this carbon platform has a tow ship to move it around, so that 22 megawatts is not actually designed to go into the engines. That is designed to go into the transmitter unit. Other U.S. Navy ships have powerful microwave transmitters. This is the U.S. Navy ship Howard O. Lorenzen. It looks small, but it's actually 534 feet long. Each phased array, the boxes on the top of the deck, is a phased array transmitter, synthetic aperture radar, whatever you want to call it, weighs 250 tons. And there's a crew of 88 on board. This is a gigantic ionospheric heater again.
They can easily move these around wherever they need to. In my opinion, this is how they create hurricanes, manipulate the weather, they can do earthquakes, and then it makes me think about Maui, the laser technology, the direct energy weapons. And also, don't forget about the Edward Snowden article, where he talks about the electromagnetic waves using the same frequency that manipulate our brain stems. Talks about how they can activate assassins just by putting out a specific frequency that messes with your brainstem. It can cause deviant and aggressive thought patterns.
He's in the blue tonight from now on. She couldn't get in.
Patriot Princess.
Okay, that was a good one. Oh, Starfire, did you hear about the more, we'll do that one before we do the other Patriot Princess one. The monkeys are loose again, you guys. Monkeys are loose. Q came out too.
There are 3 lab monkeys
6 minutes,
still on the loose after a tractor trailer crashed in Mississippi yesterday on I-59. These are lab rats that are infected with COVID, hepatitis, HIV, and a bunch of them escaped from the truck after crashing. They were being transported from Tulane University to New Orleans. And yesterday, they originally just said 1 was still on the loose, but authorities just said 3 are still out there. This is a public safety hazard here. And I'm going to share some information about these monkeys that escaped from the truck, including the footage. This is crazy stuff, folks.
Tonight, the urgent search for dangerous research monkeys that escaped from the wreckage of a crash on a Mississippi highway.
We got 21 monkeys that was on this. Got 5 of them on the run.
Video showing several monkeys crawling in the grass. Heavily armed officers responding to the scene. Authorities say a truck carrying nearly 24 rhesus monkeys from Tulane University overturned on Interstate 59 in Jasper County.
Here's one of the monkeys right here. There's one sitting right there.
At least 6 monkeys escaping. Officials warning they might be aggressive towards people and were potentially infected with hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID.
They may have to neutralize something out here in a minute.
And late today, police confirming all
Jason,
but one of the escaped
one.
monkeys had been euthanized for public safety reasons, adding they're still actively searching for that one monkey still on the loose.
Oh my God.
We are live in Jasper County at I-59 around mile marker 117 with a wreck that has exotic animals loose. These monkeys could be dangerous. We got law enforcement here. Here's the truck where the accident is. Now here's one of the monkeys right here. Let's zoom in on this so you can see this. There's one sitting right there. I've seen 2 or 3 climbing out the back here. Now, he keeps coming out the back of this trailer. One right back there. Now, again, Each one of the crates have
Okay,
monkeys. We have one
okay.
that's escaped on that side of the
I
road.
think it might be still up
in the northbound
on my
lane.
descriptions, you guys.
And then we've got more.
You might be able to.
The sheriff in Mississippi says an aggressive research monkey, as he described it, from Tulane University is on the loose. Liz Reyes tells us a truck carrying the monkeys overturned on Interstate 59.
Yes, that truck overturned in Jasper County, just south of Meridian. The sheriff says the monkeys it carried are aggressive and they carry disease. But Tulane says the monkeys are not infectious. The sheriff's office says 5 monkeys were caught and killed. Another 15 were found inside the truck. One has not been found. The crash shut down Interstate 59 for a period of time while authorities search for the monkey, but it's back open at this hour. Sheriff Randy Johnson says if anyone sees the monkey on the loose to call 911.
I think Tulane has been contacted about coming up and cleaning them up, taking them. We were told if we killed them not to touch them, not to move them, not to let anybody get around them.
Tulane says it's working with local authorities and will send an animal care team if needed. And Tulane also says it provides primates to other organizations, and the primates in question belong to another.
Oh. Whew. Do not go near these monkeys whatsoever. If these monkeys bite someone or interact with pets, they could breed. We could be having an environmental disaster here. We could be having infectious animals, and this thing could spread. 3 monkeys still out on the loose. The reports were saying only 1, but now it's 3.
Again.
We're going to keep an eye out on this situation. Where are these monkeys? If you see the monkeys, contact 911 officials in the Mississippi area. But they travel very fast. They move quickly and navigate through the forest. Now they could be also very close from the crash scene. They had to put some down because of the situation. I don't understand that. It's crazy, folks. But a truck crash, 2. Considering around this country, we've been covering the crazy truck crashes. Who was the truck driver?
The monkeys are loose again. Yep. So hopefully everybody can find my other channels somehow. I got a couple. Tomorrow, hopefully we'll get it straightened out. I don't know. See what happens. I don't see what one person from Canada. She's not in yet. Hopefully she'll get. We'll get to the second.
Should we talk about some real news? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go. Yeah, I remember when Putin said no to the one world banking cabal. He wanted to gold back his currency. He didn't want to be controlled by the one world banking cabal. So the only thing left they could do was ruin his reputation worldwide. Yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, and I remember other bankers and leaders that said no to the one world banking cabal. Yeah, they put him on a ship called the Titanic and blew it up and lied to the world.
This isn't an interesting one.
Miraculously, isn't that a coincidence? All those people that went against the one world banking system drowned. Oh yeah, and remember when Rockefeller created and owns the curriculum that's being taught to all medical professionals? I hope everything in there is true and for the people. I'm sure it is, right? Remember when Obama passed a law to make propaganda, lying to the American people, legal? Yeah, I remember that. Remember when Courtney Cox tweeted crimes against humanity? Here's a direct quote. How long does it take to cook a baby in a microwave? Remember when Chrissy Teigen tweeted crimes against humanity? Here's a direct quote. I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid. In 2011, she tweeted that. Here's another direct quote from Chrissy Teigen. I just saw a baby look like a porn star. Like a trashy do-anything porn star. Is that wrong to think? That's a direct quote from Chrissy Teigen. Another direct quote from Chrissy Teigen. I'm bored. I really want to watch teens give birth. Where can I watch teens give birth? Here's another direct quote from Chrissy Teigen. A belly and a shirt with a small sexy toddler on it saying number 1. What does a guy wear to a toddlers and tiaras party? Direct quote from Chrissy Teigen. Remember when Chrissy Teigen was at the White House? And then she bragged about the party she had with Barack and Michelle and what they did to the kids. She bragged about it on the red carpet and laughed. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but you know, I'm crazy and this is all just a coincidence, right? Yeah. We'll just keep going though. Might as well. I remember when Ashley Biden came out and confirmed her diary was real and that her father was molesting her repeatedly in the shower. She was deathly afraid for her life every day. I remember that. Oh yeah, and I remember people talking about what was really on the laptop from hell. There was a recording of Hillary cutting off a teenage girl's face. Yeah, she tied her up, cut her face off, and then wore it herself, Hillary did, and performed a satanic ritual. Oh, wow. I wonder why that's not on the news. Why hasn't this come out yet? Oh, that's right. Because there's a bunch of CIA talking heads in the news, like Anderson Cooper. That's probably why it hasn't come out yet on mainstream. I wonder who pays their patrons. I mean, this is a joke, right? Like, how can anyone take mainstream media seriously? Like, it's a complete clown show. Like, how do you not see that, right? Huh. If there's talking heads in mainstream media that's paid by opposition, I wonder if there's any social media influencers that are. Oh yeah, I remember Bibi Netanyahu saying everything was for sale, especially the social media influencers. That was what he really wanted. I wonder what he meant by that. Remember when Snowden put out an article showing how HAARP is used to activate assassins and certain individuals? He showed how HAARP manipulates the brainstem with electromagnetic wavelengths. Why isn't this on the news? Why isn't this on mainstream media? Why aren't social media influencers talking about this? Remember when the Clinton Foundation owned a barge company? They wrapped children in bubble wrap, shipped them in crates, and named it Live Art so it wouldn't get inspected. Remember that. Wonder why that's not in the mainstream media. Wonder why social media influencers aren't talking about that. Remember when cocaine was found at the White House? Remember when every 2 weeks your paycheck gets money taken out of it to fund politicians' pedophilia parties, orgies, and cocaine parties? Yeah, but social media influencers aren't talking about that. I'll just keep going. Remember when there was a lawsuit that proved the company Bayer was guilty of putting AIDS in Bayer aspirin and it was consumed by the public? Yeah, but they buried that lawsuit so no one would even know. Mainstream media doesn't talk about that. Our social media
This is a good one.
Talking about that? Do you remember the drug of adrenochrome? It never gets talked about by social media influencers or the mainstream media. Yeah. They harvest it from young children while they're torturing them.
Oh, 3
There's
minutes.
something that scientifically happens in the blood when you torture a child's blood. And they extract the children's blood while they're torturing it, and then they consume it, and they sell it on the black market. But social media influencers aren't talking about that. Wonder why. What about high fashion? The designer names, their handbags, where do they source their leather at? What if Louis Vuitton bags are made of human skin? What if the high-end fashion handbags
Hey,
are a satanic
Jay,
symbol to the
I
rich
had to
elite
restream
that
a
only they
couple times.
understand?
I had issues with
Remember when Victoria's Secret and
Kit
most
K
RuPaul
and
modeling
Jack.
agencies? They were created with a sole purpose of being a high-end prostitution ring to traffic young women and children. Why don't they put that on Fox News? Why aren't social media influencers talking about that? Do you remember when Ellen and Jay-Z, they wore a shirt with blood on it, making fun of the kids that they tortured in their basement? I remember that.
And
Remember how
hey,
Diddy used to have
Gina,
white parties? All the
how you
celebrities
been
and
doing, Gina?
politicians would attend and wear white. And they would torture a child in the middle. And they wore white so that the blood would get on their outfit. Wonder why social media influencers aren't talking about that. Wonder why that's not on Fox
Got
News.
the big channel back last week.
Oh, yeah. But I'm crazy, that's right. So this is all probably just a coincidence. Oh well, might as well keep going. Oh yeah, remember when Fauci chained up those beagles? Yeah, and he tortured them and tested on them until they died. I remember that. Remember when Fauci tested AIDS on orphans in the Bronx? Yeah, and he killed over 300,000 people. I remember that. I wonder why that's not in the mainstream news. Wonder why
Hey,
social media
JJ.
influencers aren't talking about that. Remember when Barack and Michelle Obama have fake children? I wonder if they bribed them, if they forced them, if they stole them. I wonder what the real story is. I wonder why social media influencers aren't talking about that. Remember when our CIA, FBI, and military were compromised and they were working hand in hand with Mossad and the Mafia? Remember when they knew about La Diabla, the cartel woman who would hunt down pregnant women and force them and cut their babies out of their stomach and sell fetuses on the black market? Remember when she would also breed women and cut their fetuses out just to sell them on the black market? Remember when our military and our CIA and FBI knew about that, but they didn't do anything about it? Wonder why social media influencers aren't talking about that. Remember when they never thought she would lose, and now their only tactic left is to divide? Remember that? I remember that. I remember all of it, and I'm here to help you remember.
That was a good one. So, Jacqueline, do you want to say it or do you want me to say it? About the I told Kay, but I didn't tell nobody else. But she sent me this last night, you guys, and then the kangaroos are loose. She got some. Australia. She was telling me that she might be coming to the States maybe after the first of the year. She met her brother or cousin, Jacqueline. They own a store, or was it a restaurant? So she'll be able to come visit when she gets here. You know, I think I should play this for Jacqueline. We'll get to Bill Bean next. I might have to stay out a little long tonight. I got 2 games to watch tonight, so but we will get Nancy through it, and I'll probably play this one instead of the other one. If I can get it. Okay, where is it? Okay, I found it. So I'll play this one, and then Billy, and then Nancy Drew. Oh, Irish pub in what? Where in Michigan? I thought it was Connecticut. JJ. So this one is Australia news for JJ. Let me know if we played this yet, JJ.
But in the last 20 years, the two nations have become far more connected than anyone could have imagined. Every year, Australia exports around $200 billion worth of products to China.
Oh,
and in the last 2 decades, over 1.2 million Chinese citizens have traveled to Australia to study or set up home. On the surface, this is a partnership which has been enormously lucrative for both countries, creating jobs and fostering economic growth. Yet behind the scenes lies a different reality.
18 minutes.
Australia's partnership with China has secretly been crippling their economy, affecting everything from education to housing. This may seem strange at first. Australia's GDP per capita is 5 times more than China's, and it's a far richer country. But what started as a lucrative opportunity for Australia has transformed into a crippling dependence on the world's second largest economy. In 2024, over a third of Australia's exports went to China, more than to Japan, India, South Korea, and even the United States combined. Across the country, entire industries and millions of jobs depend on Chinese trade. Even Australia's universities lean heavily on Chinese students to keep their doors open. And property in many of Australia's busiest cities is being squeezed by outside investment. But this is just the start. Key ports, mines, agricultural land, water and energy companies, and even state-sponsored schools are owned by Chinese interests, providing not just an economic risk, but leverage and influence for the Chinese state. Meanwhile, Chinese buyers dominate the property market, spending over $93 million a day on prime real estate. Today, almost every aspect of Australian life now has Chinese influence,
What do you think of this video?
even down to paying with Afterpay. But as the Chinese economy slows, one thing is becoming clear. This partnership hasn't made Australia better off, it has made it poorer and more vulnerable. So how did this happen? And is there anything Australia can do to save its economy from this crippling addiction? Aside from making Australia poorer, this also places them at the mercy of the largest effective dictatorship in the world. This isn't easy for many Australians to stomach, but it wasn't always like this. In fact, there once was a time when China was reliant on Australia. To see how a relationship which appears so lucrative is slowly breaking the country, we first need to go back in time. By the year 2000, things in China were changing. Gone were the days of hardline communist policies, and the country was beginning to open to the world, accepting foreign investment, encouraging private business, and setting the stage for one of the most rapid economic transformations in human history. Over the course of 40 years, it went from a third world country, on par with some of the poorest in the world, to today a wealthy developed nation. This process of modernization created an insatiable demand for raw materials: steel for skyscrapers and bridges, coal for power plants, and natural gas for heating homes and fueling industry. But there was one problem. These were resources which China did not have readily available. But there was one country that could help: Australia. They were already riding the high of a mining and extraction boom which began in the 1960s. Blessed with large natural resource deposits and the infrastructure to export them, the Australian economy was perfectly placed to accommodate this newfound demand, and the two countries quickly became partners. Australia dug up their minerals, shipped them off to China, and in return, billions of dollars poured into the Australian economy. What followed was an economic boom. GDP per capita soared, putting Australia ahead of many of its developed world peers. Cities like Perth and Brisbane became bustling hubs for the mining industry, and thousands of jobs were created, both directly in the mines and indirectly in supporting industries like logistics and engineering. As time went on, this trade relationship continued, and more of the Australian economy was centered on exporting minerals to China. By 2024, well over 1 in 3 of Australia's exports were heading to China. And today, the Australian economy is in a unique position amongst developed nations of the world. Most major economies like the United States or the UK rely on selling services, things like financial and legal advice, to drive their economy. But Australia is a little different. Their service sector is underdeveloped. Only around 60% of their outputs come from selling services like this. This may sound like a lot, but it is significantly lower than other countries. In the UK, 83% of output comes from services, and in the US, it's well over 70%. Instead, the Australian economy has relied on exporting resources, energy, and agricultural produce to foreign countries, primarily China. But China's influence over Australia isn't just economic. Just a few weeks ago, Chinese warships circled Australia, sparking panic in their government. But depending on the source, this could be framed as a serious threat or just another routine patrol. This is why, once again, I use ground news to provide me with coverage that cuts through all the noise and tells me what's really happening. With 50,000 news sources feeding into the website, app, and email updates, I can filter stories by factuality, bias, and location, allowing me to instantly compare how different outlets report on a topic. With Chinese warships, I saw a right-wing outlet call the Australian left-wing PM out of his depth, while this Chinese-owned site described the submarine's presence as merely a circuit around the island. Without knowing the ownership and motives behind these outlets, spotting bias would be way harder. And that's why I also use their blind spot feature every day to make sure I'm getting a wide range of news that is often left out by media outlets on both the left and the right. Something which is so important today as the world is becoming even more polarized. If you want to stay ahead and cut through the noise, you can scan the QR code on screen or head to ground.news/invisible to get 40% off the Vantage plan. It's what I use to get unlimited insights into global news, and I highly recommend it. Click the link in the description to learn more. Now let's get back to looking at Australia's economic relationship with China. For a while, this worked well, and in the 30-year period from 1990 to 2020, Australia's economy didn't have one full-blown recession. Even if other sectors faltered, exporting goods to China protected the economy. Australia achieved the remarkable feat of escaping the savings and loans crisis of the 90s, the dot-com bubble of the 2000s, and even the 2008 financial crisis. As China transformed into a global superpower, Australia thrived by riding the wave of its success. This momentum seemed unstoppable, until it wasn't. An aging population, declining exports, and a struggling real estate sector have slowly been crippling the Chinese economy. In 2024, estimates suggest it only grew by 2.8%. This by no means a bad pace, but well below its double-digit growth rates of the past 20 years. And while this is bad for China, it is especially problematic when your future success has been underpinned by these growth rates. And nowhere is the impact of this slowdown being felt more than in Australia. Exports to China, once the backbone of the economy, are in freefall. $100 billion is expected to be lost in just the next 4 years alone, cutting export revenues by a quarter. For context, when the UK left the EU, this figure was only around 6%. This has already had crushing effects on the mining and agricultural sectors, 2 pillars of the Australian economy. But unfortunately for Australia, this is just the beginning. Polling has indicated that more than half of companies would cut jobs if exports to China fell, especially in resource-heavy regions. And when you look at a map of Australia, you realise these are everywhere. Take Pilbara, located in Western Australia. It is almost entirely centred around resource extraction. Over half of the jobs in the region come from mining iron, and of all the mining done in the area, almost 80% is sold to China. But this is just one of many, and it doesn't take long to realize this is a nationwide problem. The Barwon region sells dairy products, of which 40% goes to China, and these towns are littered across the country, where sometimes up to 70% of exports goes to China. The once golden trading opportunity has turned from a blessing to a curse. But while Australia opened up trade with China, it also exposed itself to another vulnerability. Money flowing from China has also been drastically changing another aspect of Australian life. Their economic boom has created a new social group, the investor class. Owners of enormously profitable Chinese businesses looking for new regions to invest and grow their wealth. Their solution? Australia. The nation was perfect. It already had well-developed institutions to support these investors and wasn't plagued by political instability. Plus, it was also much nearer than other Western nations, which gave it another advantage, but more on that later. Chinese investors flocked to Australia, taking billions of dollars of investment with them. Since the 2008 financial crisis, China has invested over $153 billion in Australia, meaning many Australian companies are in some cases entirely Chinese owned. Take Energy Australia. The company provides electricity and natural gas to nearly 2 million customers across the country, dominating 15% of the market share. Equally, Port Darwin, one of the largest and most strategically significant ports in the country, is also Chinese owned. Escaping this influence has become practically impossible for the average citizens. The profits of almost any product, good or service which is bought will go in part to China, the result of decades worth of Australian firms selling their assets for a quick profit. And this ultimately comes at the expense of the country's wealth. By sending profits abroad, it is China, rather than Australia, that is getting rich from the industry. But it's not only companies which Chinese buyers are interested in, but property too. In a typical year, the nation will invest upwards of $3.5 billion in Australian real estate, more than the next 10 countries combined. This influx of Chinese buyers is raising the cost of buying and renting homes, squeezing the budgets of normal Australian families. Take an area like Toorak, a picturesque suburb located in the heart of Melbourne. In the last 6 months, all major sales in the area were to Chinese buyers, and in many parts of the country, prices have been pushed up to the point where locals can no longer afford to live there. As China developed into an economic powerhouse, it wasn't just the investor class that was booming, but the middle class. Thousands of Chinese families who wanted better opportunities for their children looked to Australia. The nation is home to some of the best educational institutions in the world. Places like the University of Melbourne and the Australian National University attract the best and brightest students from across the country, providing them with the skills needed to enter high-paying, productive jobs. This international status means they're not only attractive destinations for top Australian students, but foreign nationals as well, particularly those from wealthy backgrounds seeking a distinguished education. The number of international students has grown dramatically since the turn of the century. Currently, the country hosts around 820,000 international students, of which around a quarter are Chinese. It's worth bearing in mind that the population of Australia is still relatively small, at 26 million people. This means that 1 in every 28 people in Australia are international students. In addition to this, international students pay significantly higher fees. While home student fees are capped at $14,000, for international students, it can cost up to $50,000 per year. In the short term, this seems like a great deal. Australian universities can make some extra cash at the expense of Chinese students, while Australian nationals can enjoy the same education for a lower cost. But there's a problem. International students paying higher fees encourages universities to accept international students over Australian applicants, and every place filled by an international student is one missed out on by an Australian citizen. This trend is particularly evident at the top universities, which have international rates which in some cases climb as high as 45%. The massive influx of these students is harming the quality of the education available to Australian citizens. What's more, close to 90% of international students who study in Australia do not stay in the country long term. This is significantly higher than in most developed countries, like Canada or the US, where approximately half of international students stay in the country. This is strange. A loss of talent at this scale usually only occurs in developing countries, where highly skilled workers leave in search for better opportunities abroad. However, Australia's unique relationship with China has led to a similar crippling effect. This dominance has meant that the valuable skills taught at university, crucial for building a dynamic, service-based economy, are not retained in Australia. Instead, international students return home after education at Australia's top universities, taking their skills with them. It is these skills which, in the face of slowing exports to China, the country needs to shift towards. But due to heavy reliance on international students, the economy may find itself short-staffed to pull off such a transition. And it's not just businesses and the education sector that have become dependent on Chinese buyers, but also Australia's own government. Throughout China's economic boom years, Australia's government generated huge amounts of revenue through taxing exports to China. Money which the government uses to pay for healthcare, education, and its military. But just like businesses, this reliance has left the Australian government at the mercy of Chinese economic performance. As the Chinese economy slows, tax revenue is projected to be reduced by $8.5 billion per year. For context, Australia's total defence spending is only $34 billion. To fill this rapidly emerging black hole, the government will either need to raise taxes or cut spending. But both of these are highly unattractive prospects, especially at a time of job losses. And as unemployment rises in industries like mining and agriculture, more people will demand welfare support. This creates a dangerous double-edged sword. The dual impact of reduced revenue and higher welfare demands poses a risk for economic stability, which the country has enjoyed for the past 30 years. At best, it will slow the economy to a halt, and at worst, push Australia into a full-blown recession. What started as a golden opportunity, a partnership that brought wealth, jobs, and growth, has turned into a precarious reliance on a single growing economy. From mining and agriculture to education and infrastructure, almost every corner of Australian life is tied to China in some way. And while this relationship has undoubtedly shaped modern Australia, it's also left the country vulnerable, and the cracks are starting to show. Job losses, budget shortfalls, and a lack of control over critical industries are all warning signs that this dependency isn't sustainable. With all of this in mind, this is by no means a lost cause. Australia is still one of the richest countries in the world, and it has a range of options. Diversifying trade partners, investing in emerging industries, and focusing on keeping skilled talent at home are just a few steps the country can take to break free from this over-reliance. And with the right economic policy, the nation can shift away from its current trajectory. But given the current path of the government over the last 20 years, this seems unlikely. Australia and China are nearly 5,000 miles apart. But in the...
So that was a big intel video. Haven't had that one for you in a while. Okay, we're going to get Billy Bean up next. We had two out last night, but they were short ones, you guys.
Sources I'll use today. God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, Ward Carroll, Hal Turner, Alex Cristoforo Plus. Some of the things we'll cover: Atlas, President Trump, and a gold crown. Another monkey accident, and what's going on in South America, Venezuela, and Brazil.
All over the place.
So let's begin. So Redacted interviewed Dr. Michael Sala. This is about Atlas. And he brings out new information just in the past 48 hours. We had 2 more nations, Malaysia and the Philippines, signing on to the Artemis Accord. And you say, what is that? That is a planetary exploration alliance and defense of Earth organization of nations led by the U.S. There's a rival group that has 13 nations signed up, including China and Russia. So we see the Artemis Accords have been in place now for about 2 or 3 years, with the U.S. As the head of the Artemis Accord group of nations to explore space and also to defend Earth. So we see governments know a lot more than we do. And we have this. The U.S. has had a secret space organization for decades. This has been coming out in the past few years. And the U.S. Space Force is now based in Huntsville, Alabama. So that's going on. And we have this from Michio Kaku, his YouTube channel, Parallax, talking about Atlas and more anomalies coming out. We know today is October 29, and Atlas is now its closest point to the sun, behind the sun. So that's going on. And that it has released an object. I put that out yesterday. Many are putting out that this could be a probe to examine Earth. But Michio Kaku's information, another anomaly based on Atlas, putting out more energy, including gamma rays, and engaging in an acceleration change and putting forth a green tail. So that's going on, and it continues to pulse what many believe are messages, and some have put forth that these messages represent much similar to what we saw in the movie Contact, prime numbers. Now, new information Michio Kaku is putting out is that NASA has sent out probes to get more information about Atlas. In the meantime, we see governments, the U.S. government, the European ESA, also the China space program, not releasing high-resolution pictures and more information that we know they must have. So that's going on. And this is coming out from Space Weather, NASA's site. NASA says about Atlas, if we see acceleration, artificial lights, or engine heat plumes, then perhaps we can conclude this is alien technology. And again, I point out, this comes out from spaceweather.com website, NASA's website. And that on October 29, today, is when Atlas could engage in a slingshot move to either propel it toward Earth or away from Earth, possibly toward Jupiter. NASA now is calling Atlas an exotic comet. So that's going on. And we have this. So we have from Space Weather on YouTube, formerly Suspicious Observer site, that there's a constellation group in space called the Red Spider, and that NASA is now investigating it further. And we have that in the Atlantic Ocean, it's now being put forth. We have an El Nino effect. So El Nino, most of us are familiar with, let's see. I'll go ahead and draw this. We have the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic. Most of us are familiar with the term La Nina and El Nino, that these affect weather. El Nino is a warming of the Pacific Ocean, La Nina a cooling. And this does also interface with the formation of hurricanes. Now, it's coming out that in the Atlantic, we have similar El Nino pattern of cooling and heating. And I believe personally that governments put out information they've kept secret. They put it out to the public when they can no longer hide it. So that's going on. And we have this. A new white paper is coming out about the May 2024. So in May of 2024, we had something like a G5 geomagnetic event on the Earth. And it's coming out that this was as strong as the geomagnetic storm that hit the Earth in 1989 when there was a major blackout all across Canada from an electromagnetic pulse from the geomagnetic storm. And it's believed that this is being put forth, that the May 2024 geomagnetic storm was as strong or stronger than the 1989 storm because of the weakening of the Earth's electromagnetic shield. Now we have this coming out. So we saw Melissa, a Cat 5 hurricane, hitting yesterday. It hit Jamaica. And we're hearing no deaths, major damage. It's hitting Cuba today as a Category 3.
We owe an apology to anyone who's ever bought a Muddy Mat before, because we lied. Yes, it's true that Muddy Mat's premium microfiber chenille.
And currently, Melissa over Cuba has winds of 115 miles per hour, pressure 960, moving northeast at 12 miles per hour. So that's going on. We can say, thank God, there were no massive deaths in Jamaica. We have this from Hal Turner and Dabu 77. There has been today a massive internet outage affecting Amazon and Microsoft. So that's going on. And we have this from Steve Quayle's aggregate site, Fox News. Okay. A couple of years ago, I reported on a monkey accident that happened in Pennsylvania. Monkeys that were grown, rhesus monkeys that were grown to be used in labs. And that there was a truck accident, and a lady was exposed, And the head of the Pennsylvania Health Department was there, and he immediately got out of his vehicle and said, move away from the cages with the monkeys, implying that there was something going on. Now, we've had a second rhesus monkey used in labs, truck accident in Jasper County, Mississippi. And for the monkeys who escaped, they were tracked down and shot. There is still one monkey on the loose. And these monkeys had come from Tulane University, Tulane National Biomedical Research. And the monkeys had been infected with hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID. So there they were going to Mississippi to an unidentified third-party lab. So there is still one on the loose. I'll try to keep up with that story and see what happens. We have this from Alex Cristoforo. So we've got Venezuela, and we know the U.S. is apparently priming for some type of military activity. We have Brazil, and we know that President Trump is going after the cartels. We have this occurring in Brazil. We have the governor of Rio de Janeiro, a state in Brazil, without federal approval from the leader of Brazil, a deep stater called Lula. And this police force in Rio, 2,500 police officers, went against a cartel called the Red Command. It's a bloody shootout, and so far the number of deaths of the police officers is 60 to 100. I find it curious that this state in Brazil is taking this action in alignment with President Trump's agenda and going against their federal leader, Lula. President Trump has always supported Bolsonaro in Brazil, and it's believed that Lula was put in his position via a coup similar to the one we saw in the U.S. in 2020 through voter machine manipulation. So that's going on. And it appears that a large part of Brazil is working in alignment with President Trump and the U.S. military. And we have this. China is now no longer sending parts for drones to Ukraine. And China also is no longer sending these parts for Ukraine drones via other nations, particularly the Baltic states. So it's unknown why China is now limiting drone parts to Ukraine. But that would also appear to be in alignment with President Trump, who has said no to Ukraine for Tomahawk missiles, and President Trump is now withdrawing U.S. military from the Eastern European nations. Specifically today in Romania, the U.S. military announced as U.S. military troops rotate out of Romania, they will not be replaced. Thus, we'll see a decrease in the number of U.S. military in Romania. So that's going on. And we have this.
In about 4 minutes.
From Alex Cristoforo in Ukraine,
I don't know if I feel
reiterating
it or
U.S. no
not.
tomahawks to Ukraine. Now,
feel
Ward
it.
Carroll is putting this out that President Trump has ordered the Navy to begin only using steam catapults and not including using electronic signals to project missiles. Could it be that President Trump may put forth an executive order directing the Navy to only use steam catapults for missiles to circumvent electronic warfare being used against the U.S. Navy? But we see President Trump now taking more definitive actions regarding the U.S. military, and we believe this is part of his plan for the U.S. military's possible invasion of Venezuela and possible engagement of the U.S. military in many parts of South America and Mexico versus the cartels. So that's going on. And we have this from Breitbart. Yes. So President Trump had just visited Japan. He's now in South Korea, where he will also meet with President Xi of China. The South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has given President Trump a golden crown, symbolizing the U.S. and South Korea's alliance to bring about peace in South Korea and to bring South Korea and the U.S. closer together. So I believe it's good to be in prayer for America, President Trump, the U.S. military, and world peace. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Your $200 puffer keeps you warm at the coffee shop. But as soon as you step outside, you're left looking like a stack of wet tires. You need the new 340 GS.
Short ones on there. We'll play about 10 minutes.
We're live, so your babies are in it. All right, let's give everybody a second to come on before you start explaining to them what's happening, okay? Hey, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Come on on. I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to come on for this one, okay? Because this is going to be pretty interesting, to say the least. So let's just give it a minute. I've got somebody that's going to join me here in a second. Okay, so just let people come on. I'm frozen. It's so freaking windy and cold, and I didn't bring a jacket, but it's okay. And I'm down kind of by the water, which makes it even, my hand's shaking because that cold. All right. All right, guys, what I need you to do, now you know me, I never, ever, ever, ever ask you to share anything, okay? But I want you to share this video out. Share it. Let's get people on this live because you guys are going to get some information from somebody. And it's pretty, it's pretty head-scratching information, okay? So share this out, all right? Never ask you. All right, so, honey, you want to stay, like, out of my camera if you don't. All right, so let me explain to you guys what's going on here, okay? So obviously I'm on my way in here for DC for the day. Didn't think I'd come across anything. So I came, and I don't want to point around because I can't show his vehicle. So I'm here, and I am actually, I don't show his vehicle, but there's the RFK Stadium. So you know directly to the left is the National Guard, okay? But if I turn anymore and show you that, I'll show his vehicle, and I can't do that. All right, so I came across the
I'll
bridge,
play
and
those snippet on
you know
this
me, I see sirens,
video.
okay?
So 15 minutes I'll
They just
play.
screamed at me. So I saw all these blinkies over here. What the hell is going on over here? This is very unusual. Nothing like this happens. So I did a swing around. I came up parked. I came and asked this gentleman if he knew what was going on, and he said yes. He is with a particular agency, and he's going to stand behind the camera. I am not, cannot put him on there. He's going to stand behind the camera, explain to us what's taking place right now, because, let me show you, and then we'll take a walk down. Okay,
Chico, settle down.
No, okay, in case I go stupid cleanup look. So you can see we have a bunch of interesting shit going on here, and that is a mobile command unit right there, and I am not supposed to know exactly which mobile command unit this is, okay? And then it comes all the way down to over here, all right? So let me get him to come explain to you, because it's a lot and I don't want to screw it up. All right, you ready, honey? Come on. My new friend. But he's been awake for many, many years. I explained to him what I did here, what I do here, continue to do here 5 years later. And he's going to help us out with some information. And then, like I said, we'll take a walk down and get a better look. And he said that they're not going to be mad that I come down there. Okay? So, all right.
You got your ID on, your badge on, let me know who you.
Yeah. Okay. So you can go ahead and, like, my microphone's on this side, so they should be able to hear you.
All right. I want to start off, say Grand Rising morning, because I'm awakened to what's really going on in this universe. And we all have to be in tune with our hierarchy and aside of ourselves. We all the gods. So basically what's going on all over the universe. You're on like a code 65. The code 65 in my uniform is a major worldwide hierarchy. Everybody be in tune with your uniform, whoever you work for, how you doing? You know what to take place at a time like this. If you ever never ever been in a situation like this, especially like you 65, you should know. You around the 60s, you should know what's going on. Because if your grandparents didn't tell you what's really going on, this stuff right here has been real. Everything they had put in front of your face, all the videos and movies you've been watching, they gotta wake you all up some type of way. So what's going on in our universe? And we don't own this universe. We are being placed here, you know what I'm saying, for all kinds of reasons. And you know, this stuff been staged for over like decades ago. You know what I'm saying? Million years ago. And the people who really, you know, own this universe gave it to.
Sorry, I'm shaking.
They gave it to, I'm not going to say the indigenous people, but they gave it to some very powerful people. And see, the United States really ain't going to tell y'all what's going on behind the scenes. Really, they will give you a more footage level of a list of animal species, but they be lying to you about the animal species. There's so many, you know what I'm saying, predators out here that we don't know about that they never want to tell you about. And all this has to do with what I'm about to boil down to, what I'm talking to. It's about the hierarchies and stuff that humans been placed on this planet for experimental purposes. You got to really understand everything that you translate out of your mouth, everything that you confess, you know what I'm saying, in your tongue, you come to resistance because we are in assimilation. You know, assimilation is basically like something being staged, something being protocol. So basically that black truck is a road truck. It's a protocol called truck that goes out and the code.
Thanks for finding this, Starfire. Good.
Order to the people like us, to people in power like, you know, DBW, government, firefighter department, know what I'm saying, just stop at Homeland Security. You know what I'm saying? Because they the power behind this operation at this level, and this simulation that we existing at right now. For us to breathe, air, see, feel, senses that we got to operate on. Now, let's get back down into the nitty gritty. Now, everybody know that they've been talking about this simulation thing supposed to come through our atmosphere.
The 3-eye atlas, guys.
Basically, I didn't want to say that, but yeah. So, they basically want to tune everybody. Don't know. Usually, when they show a movie, they preparing people. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people have been doing this and been watching this and been prepared for over 20, 30, 40 years. I've been in tune now for over about 35 years.
Yep.
I have seen a lot. I hear a lot. High officials, level 5 and 6. So, you know, I've pretty much been in tune what's going on in this universe that we're going to be visiting. It's going to be staged. It's going to be staged, so don't y'all go commit suicide, jump off.
Yeah, I know. I wish you had a higher voice.
Just do something crazy. Just maintain your composure. You know what I'm saying? Try to get more distance from who you are. You know, what you develop, what you skills that you can do for yourself to better your high vibration. Because if you don't, you're going to perish. But we're going to another world. We're going to another universe. And with that universe, you know, you got to have a strong vibration. You can't be negative. You got to be positive.
So what are they doing here today?
Today they doing basically like foot ground, like it's on the ground, and everybody like, you know what I'm saying, level up.
So they're organized and ready for what's about to happen. What's about to happen. So this is an organization here on it.
It's an organization. So listen, now y'all probably have been certainly around on the video.
Thanks for sharing, Tucker. That comment there. Everybody read the comments down below.
This shit is staged and they prepared because it's all about
anything happens. Anytime, I'll be on. Everything breaks.
All the generation of your family, y'all got to be up on the granddaddy level. What y'all got to do, get involved into your mothers, your fathers, the young generation today. Stop, you know, getting real aggressive with the older generation. And from this key, what I'm about to tell you, your nieces and nephews, y'all need to go back and make amends to your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt, your nieces, some of the images that you have made. Try to do your best with this. Try to, you know, bring some clearance and some understanding with you and what you're doing. Be more conscious about your tongue, about your thinking. Start, if you're not doing it, start eating a lot of protein. Start eating a lot of healthy food. That's going to heal your body. Let the medicine go and start getting in tune. What's come out to God?
You, my love, can I hug you? Yeah. You were a blessing to me this morning. You have no idea. I mean, because I told you I've been working my ass off for free for the past 5 years up here. All of this. And this right here is probably the craziest shit almost. Yeah, one of the craziest things. But I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going over. Okay. Okay, baby. Okay, thank you. Okay. I know. Mind freaking blowing. Like, I'm standing here. I'm frozen right now, and I'm still going my ass down.
Oh, this is a good clip that Starfire told me to play.
We're going to take a better look at.
Disagree, Lori.
I don't know if they'll talk to me down here. I don't know if they'll scooch me out of here. I don't have
we'll play a few more minutes
press
here.
credentials, which, you know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but damn, if anybody's earned to have a freaking pass, I'm one of those people. I really feel that way. So hopefully it's not an issue, but we're going to go and look at that damn thing. That is, because he asked me, like, when we were talking before I came on the line, I'm like, look, dude, I said, I know it's something big because this is a mobile command unit. I'm so used to these. And like I said, see, that's the bridge I came across. And I don't know how I saw it. I just did. You know, it was a nudge. So, but But I saw the mobile command unit and I'm like, this is serious. Okay, when I saw this, the mobile command unit, I knew it was serious. And honestly, the National Guard has like a small unit, and it's smaller than this. But he said he couldn't tell me what agency this is. He had to be careful, but we'll see if we can. But we have all different kinds of police enforcement here and agencies. So, I don't know what the fuck to look at first. But they're organizing, guys, for what's about to come. I hope everybody's ready.
Bring it, bring it, bring it.
That's a rollback. This is a DC rollback. Too. And here I thought there was going to be nothing to see here today because of everything going on. And I'm so glad I just listened to my nudge and came for my own well-being because I'm not well lately, guys.
You okay, Ed? Hang
I'm
in
just
there.
Creep.
Love
To
ya.
see if I mean, down in public, I have the right to be, the right to see, but I don't want to, you know me, I want to respect the boundaries as well for them. This is DC Homeland Security and an emergency maintenance agency. Yikes. Hello. I'm just a street journalist. Do you guys want me to leave? I've been covering DC for like 5 years. Do you want me to leave? I just find this like very interesting. Is it okay I'm here? You're nobody? Okay. Well, look, I will respect whatever boundaries you set here, but I am a street journalist and I am live right now. And I think the world deserves this.
I think I would probably have to ask permission. I don't know about recording.
Okay.
If you want to, yeah, if you wanted to like snap some photos, I think that's maybe okay, but we're gonna go check.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Sure.
I thank all of you.
Yeah.
I'm on to it. I've been up here in DC for 5 years reporting on things that have been taking place in the city.
Yeah. So today we're doing TIMS training. So it's traffic incident management training. So we're getting all of the responding agencies that would respond if you were in a motor vehicle crash together to do kind of like a comprehensive training and get everyone involved.
Okay. Okay.
So because we're working,
yeah.
This is a exercise.
Okay.
As long as you keep your distance, you can film whatever you got to film.
Okay, great.
Yes,
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so did you hear that? Like BS explanation, like, traffic incidents and you got Homeland Security. Come on. I tried to let her know in a way that I knew, but maybe she's not allowed to open her mouth. And I get that, okay? I get it. But let me also remind you, like, it looks like they're clearing out some. But let me remind you too, like, what we've seen in the past as far as trainings go. Hi, hon, how are you? You know, I mean, we have seen, gosh, and this, I didn't think we'd see any kind of training like this, but, let me remind you of the different trainings that we've seen, because in my eyes, like, they haven't skipped a beat. Like, they're ready for anything, whatever's coming our way. So there's the DC National Guard right there. So let's go back. Oh gosh. I've lost track of years, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure if it was 2021 or 2022 where we saw the very first training here at the DC National Guard. Remember when the dude flopped in front of me and the helicopter flew over me? I sat out here for hours and watched that training. So they trained in combative, injured combative
I'll finish this one,
citizens.
guys.
They trained
6
how
minutes.
to get them.
6 minutes left.
How to load them onto helicopters and transport them. Remember all of that?
Go to 7:30.
Okay, so that was one training. We've seen the training at the Capitol, on the east side of the Capitol, where they were putting up and down those huge medical tents. Okay, remember they put them up and down as like a practice run of how to get them up and quickly. And they were going up and down the Capitol stairs with the gurneys, remember, like transporting patients out of the Capitol and into the ambulances that they parked. Remember that one? Yeah, stood out in the freezing cold for that one too. There's another one. Okay, they got the DC. That's the DC tow trucks that will have your car gone in like 3 seconds. Trust me, in there. And then we have the training on the west side of the Capitol in like 11 degrees.
Okay. We only missed about 3 minutes of it. We got about 20 minutes, I think it was. So, yep, thanks, Starfire, for getting that. So, last half hour, we'll get some short clips in.
I know we've been talking about this, but there is more and more stuff coming out every single day.
5 minutes.
Once again, one of the greatest scandals to go down in American history. I keep on talking about that, but it's all together. Guys, you guys remember all of the crazy rants that Biden did? You guys remember all of the red background looking like something from the old days of fascist socialism? The screaming, the angry, MAGA, get MAGA, it's all MAGA, and all of it. You guys remember that. It wasn't that long ago. And it was really, really clear that the main enemy, public enemy number one, was MAGA. It wasn't Trump. It was what Trump stood for. It was what Trump had created, because for once it was a unifying party. So this is the deal. It's so important to understand the reason why the leftists, the reason why the establishment hates MAGA. It has nothing to do with Trump or conservatism. They're fine with their neocon, conservative, the run-of-the-mill conservatism. What they don't like is any type of coalition that threatens the status quo. I'm getting to a story here, but just hear me out. It's a problem that MAGA has actually become a big tent. It's a problem that MAGA has almost become a unifier of many parties, but a unifier of people who were used to be Democrat, people who were old guard Republicans, people from old guard libertarians, old people, young people, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. So the reason why Trump is catching hate from all of these different directions is like, whoa, that's our territory. Now you're starting to unify people. That's not what we do. The mainstream media, the neocons, the establishment, their job has always been to separate. We're going to separate people. We're going to drive division. And then you guys take the old, you guys take the young, you guys take the blacks, You guys take the whites, we'll split the Hispanic vote down the middle. You guys take some, we'll take the others. That's the way they divvied it up. You guys take the LGBTQ. We're going to take this. And everybody was okay with it. And it came down to the point where it was like, well, whether it was Obama, whether it was Bush, whether it was whoever, Mitt Romney, whether it was McCain, it doesn't matter. We got them all under control. Then you get a Donald Trump who's like, no, I'll pay for my own campaign. I don't want your money. I'm going to do my own thing. And that is why they hate it. And it went so far as they wanted to completely snuff out MAGA. This story that came out today should land Jack Smith in prison forever, alongside of Joe Biden. I'm sure he'll get presidential immunity, but Jack Smith has none. Jack Smith, with this Arctic Frost operation that I've been talking to you guys about, he had over 100 people who were MAGA loyalists under surveillance. So it went past Trump, it went past Pence, it went past the 10 Senate Senate leaders. Now we find out that it went so far as people like Steve Bannon, Rudy Giuliani, no big surprise, Ed Martin, Peter Navarro. Then on top of that, he went all the way down to each state's electors that were actually MAGA or Trump loyalists. Anybody who stood up and said, no, this 2020 thing, this isn't right, they were on the list and under surveillance. Over 100 people. And in the 198-page document that got dropped this morning, they made it very clear that their goal was to eradicate MAGA. So they were using your tax dollars to try to silence and get rid of you. Let that sink in. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this, but I think it stinks. We'll see you guys next time. Be blessed.
Okay, that was cue for today. This one's under 5.
You think I'm overreacting. Okay, so it's a little bit of a story. So I would say like a year and a half ago, my kid was invited to a birthday party at this person's house. And when we got that invitation, we realized, oh, this person just lives a couple houses down. So we walked down to the birthday party and attend this in-home birthday party. Now, the first thing for me was the house was dirty. And I don't mean messy, I mean dirty, okay? And there's a lot of kids there, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of parents. It was a little bit uncomfortable for some of us. Okay, it is what it is, right? People live in different situations. We enjoyed the party, we stayed the full time. It was great, the kids had fun. While I was there, I noticed that on their refrigerator, they had a lot of stuff from my child, which wasn't totally weird, but it kind of was. So they have like 5 kids, and their refrigerator is full of stuff that my child has made. Pictures, drawings, like actual pictures of her and this other kid. It was just a little bit much for me, okay? So now they know that we live close, and come this school year, they now ride the same bus because we had to switch which buses we ride. Anyways, so my kid says to the little girl, who's an absolute sweetheart, you know, she's like, oh, we should play together sometime. We should set up a play date. So then I wouldn't say probably 20 minutes after they get home, I got a text message from this person's dad that said, hey, this is so-and-so's dad. And I was told that our kids are playing together today. And I said, oh, well, sorry for the misunderstanding. Oh, and he called twice first and then texted. I need to add. I didn't answer the phone. I didn't know the number. Anyways. So he texted and said, you know, our kids want to play, and I wasn't just going to send my little 5-year-old over to your house and whatever. So I wanted to text first. And I said, oh, yeah, it was just a little bit of a misunderstanding. Like, I don't mind if, you know, maybe we set up a play date, but school night's not a good night for us. So maybe on a weekend. Okay, sounds good. I haven't heard from them since, nor have I reached out, because there's just something like I'm not comfortable with my kid going over there, and that's kind of where they want her to go, is over to their house. Okay, so it's just there's something that I am not comfortable with. So then flash forward to today, sitting on the couch, it's about an hour after school got out, and I hear this bang, 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 bang on my door. It's terrified me. And I go and I look out the people, and I can see some little kids and a guy, and I'm thinking, oh, someone's probably in our neighborhood selling something. So I open the door, and it's the little girl and the dad and another one of their kids. And basically, saying, and he's like, hey, I know it's not the weekend. Obviously, it's Monday. But I want to know if our kids can play together, because it's breaking her heart that you're not allowing this to happen. And I was like, well, it's a school night and we have company over. My mom's over, we're hanging out, we're enjoying some family time. And so unfortunately, no, it's not a good time. And he goes, well, then I need you to tell my kid no. And it was just like, so, I explained to the little girl, like, oh, hey, how are you? Da, 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 da. Sorry, it's not good timing. My kid can come say hi to you and do all of that. Anyways, it just made me more uncomfortable. And he just kept saying, like, well, I'm not trying to push you. I'm not trying to push you. I'm not trying to, it was just like, dude, chill. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm overreacting, but at the same time, I just have that mama gut feeling like something isn't right. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm being judgmental. I don't know. But the fact that it always needs to be at their house and I'm not comfortable with that. I don't know. There's just something there. And trying to tell my kid, like, hey, yeah, it's not really working out. I don't know when it will work out. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm in a weird situation with one of my kids' friends, and I need to know if you think.
So that's family instruction stuff there. This is a two-parter. Not very long.
Moving illegal aliens out of their states who were bearing the brunt of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing. And they've sent them to Denver. They sent them to Chicago. They sent them to New York. They sent them to Martha's Vineyard. The reason why they did that is because you four could hide behind the realities of illegal immigration on border towns all through our country and on cities and states who did not want to see illegal immigration, but did not have the political representation to go to the White House. And only when it showed up on your doorstep did you get upset. Mayor Johnston, coming back to you. How much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around 79 million since 2022.
79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because I don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you were failing,
which is the
Mayor
same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much did
sent
the
from
city
us
of New
from
York
the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number, and if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city.
You don't ask about how much money the city of Boston has spent on illegal immigration? Are you out of your mind?
Between immigration status.
Do you manage your budget or not, Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor Wu, do you manage your budget or not?
We have the numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston, just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
the city of Boston.
Is
sick of having people outside Boston telling us what we
Mr. Bear, I have a question for you because I understand Cato's perspective when it comes to illegal immigration. I understand that the Cato Institute for a long time has had a standard of actually having open immigration into the United States. Generally speaking, I don't want to get into specifics.
We support legal immigration. We want immigration to be legal.
So let me ask you this question, because one of the great libertarians of the modern era, Milton Friedman, famously said, you can either have open borders or a welfare state, but you have to choose. Mr. Beer, what do you choose?
Milton Friedman said he wanted to allow illegal immigration to continue. I disagree with Milton Friedman's position on that. We should have legal immigration and build a wall around the welfare state, not around the country. That's in the best interest of taxpayers.
And I would argue that under the current system where you have sanctuary cities popping up, it is not possible to build that wall. So America has to choose, Mr. Beer, you're done. America has to choose between securing our nation or protecting the taxpayer. I choose secure the nation. I yield back.
Wow. Just wow. The difference between a real leader asking real questions and a professional activist is on full display right there. So what did we just witness? We saw two completely different versions of America presented in Congress. First, you have Rashida Tlaib's version. She gets on her soapbox and talks about how dare anyone criticize Washington, D.C. She says it's slanderous, it's defamation. She says she walks around and sees families and monuments and has no idea what everyone's so upset about. She literally says, that's not what I see. Well, of course you don't. You're living in a fantasy world where policies have no consequences. A world where you can just ignore reality. And if anyone questions you, you get emotional, you start shouting, and you call them fascists. Sound familiar? It's the same exact playbook, just with a better seat. She isn't there to govern, she's there to perform. And then, you have reality. You have Congressman Byron Donalds. And here's the thing the mainstream media will never show you. They'll never play that clip next to a clip of her in Congress screaming about a fascist takeover. Why? Because it shows a pattern. It proves she's not a serious lawmaker. She's a radical activist who uses hysterics instead of facts. While Rashida Tlaib is having a meltdown about her feelings, Byron Donalds is dealing with facts. He's not talking about the beautiful monuments. He's talking about the $6.90 billions of taxpayer money being burned in New York City alone to fund the sanctuary city policies that Tlaib and her friends champion. This is the ultimate exposure of her lies. The lie isn't just one specific thing she said. The lie is her entire worldview. The lie is that you can have these open-door sanctuary city policies without it costing the actual citizens of this country a fortune. The lie is that we can just ignore the financial black hole it creates. Byron Donalds brings the numbers. He brings the logic.
This was a
He
good
asks
one.
the simple, devastating question. How much did you spend? And for politicians like Tlaib, that question is like sunlight to a vampire. They have no answer for it. So what do? They scream, they shout, they disrupt, and eventually their time expires, and they get metaphorically dragged out, just like Tlaib got literally dragged out years ago. This is the battle for America right here. It's the people like Byron Donalds who are fighting for fiscal sanity, for border security, and for the American taxpayer, against people like Rashida Tlaib who are only fighting for their radical ideology, no matter the cost to you. So what do you think? Is Byron Donalds doing the right thing by calling this out and demanding accountability?
Yep.
Let me know what you think in the comments below.
That was good.
You guys are crazy!
You're an animal! Get a job!
To say something like that to myself and a lot of my colleagues is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line.
Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order.
That's okay, but it's okay, right?
That is not how it
It's
goes.
okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about
Hold
Washington,
myself
D.C.
accountable.
Washington, D.C.
Hold your own
Keep it out
self
your
accountable. How
mouth.
about
Keep it out
that?
your mouth.
Hold your own
I'm
self
trying,
accountable. How
Mr.
about that?
So what you just saw is the perfect example of how it started versus how it's going. On one side, you have Rashida Tlaib, a protester getting physically dragged out of a Congress while screaming her lungs out. On the other, you have Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, screaming her lungs out and calling her colleagues fascists. What's changed? Nothing. The behavior is identical. She's just traded the protest line for a taxpayer-funded microphone. This is a pattern of hysterics over facts, and it's on full display in Congress. When you have a lawmaker who operates on pure emotion and radical talking points, disconnected from reality, eventually someone has to step in and give them a reality check. And that's exactly what Byron Donalds did. We're about to watch the full clip where Tlaib gives her fantasy version of America, and then you'll see Byron Donalds step up and expose her entire worldview with cold, hard facts.
I'm glad
He's
I
got the
played these
receipts,
two.
and she's got a list of names to call people. So stick around for the full breakdown. And hey, if you're ready for some truth, smash that like and subscribe button. Let's get into it.
You know, I think it's also really important to understand, like, the incredible kind of slanderous, like, defamation. I don't know what to call it. They're just burying Washington, D.C. You just heard them speak about our nation's capital in that way, in a way that I feel very much like that's not what I see. I see people walking around with their families, people enjoying time to see these beautiful, incredible, beautiful monuments and everything. And there's a pride here too. And so I just want to bring the DC residents into this committee because I feel like they are being made invisible. And this really ugly picture that is not reflective. And I'm from Detroit. I've seen it happen to my city, and it's despicable in a way that I feel like really goes up against our values. You know, one of the things that I know in every abuse of power that, we let President Trump and the administration get away with in DC, it will be replicated. I want to, it will be expanded across the country, and it is going to tear apart our communities. You know, Mr. Jackson, I talked to you about a little bit about this, but I think it's important to understand that we do have a mental health crisis, that we have a housing crisis, affordability crisis. Can you police any of those away?
No.
You can't police away homelessness. And the way they talk about our homeless neighbors is so, I mean, no wonder there's violence increasing towards homeless neighbors. I see it already, the brutality of it. When we see housing costs go up, when we see, again, the lack or dismissiveness of the mental health crisis that we continue to grow. And it's not just this administration, and the previous administrations as well.
I will say that Bernie Sanders will be back. You guys are crazy! You're an animal.
Okay, those are two wild ones. So I want to finish off with, what's his name? 5 minutes, I believe. What's it? I don't think I played this yet. Have I, Dave?
Business. And I, of course, advise to the people of Cheyenne, Wyoming, who believe they are the most important city in the world. So whoever leads New York is one of the most powerful people in the world. The mayor of New York City has always been more important than the governor of New York State. Therefore, it follows that New York City cannot be led by a full-blown commie. If Zoran Mamdani gets in, that city is going to turn into Caracas, Venezuela faster than Usain Bolt can run the 100. Zoran is the Ugandan-born Indian socialist who is vying to become the city's mayor. He won the Democrat primary endorsed by AOC Bernie Sanders and the rest of the reasonable people in the Democrat Party who only believe in stealing your money and giving it to people who didn't earn it. I wouldn't really say people voted for Zoran Mamdani. I'd say they voted against Andrew Cuomo. Because Cuomo, as we all know, is a crook. I don't even get why it's a choice between Mamdani or Cuomo. When New York could vote for their friendly neighborhood gangster mafia boss, Curtis Sliwa. I kid you not, that guy's blood type is categorized as I'm walking here. He's New York through and through. But I don't think it's all over. Zoran Mamdani's mom decided to drop some nuggets of information about him that I think a lot of people would like to know about in New York. That's Zoran Mamdani's mom. And she said in an interview, he is not an American at all. Wait, I'm sorry. I thought one had to be an American at heart and also on paper before deciding to run for a position in America. That's a pretty telling statement. This is worse than your mom telling your friends you pissed the bed. She made these comments to the Hindustan Times in 2013, and the story goes as follows. The mother of New York City socialist mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani gave an interview when he was a 21-year-old American college student discussing how her son is not an American at all, while using terminology that some view as derogatory toward the United States. He's a total desi. Not sure what that means. Okay, desi means of, from, or characteristic of India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh. Unalterated or pure could also be a person of South Asian birth or descent who lives abroad. Okay, that's crazy. So he's a total desi completely. We are not Farangs at all. I don't know what Farangs mean. Another word we have to find. Farang is a Thai term for foreigners. Okay, you learn something new every day, right? He's very much us. He's not a American. Okay, so that's another one. I guess that's how they say American at all. He was born in Uganda, raised between India and America. He is at home in many places, except America, apparently. He thinks of himself as a Ugandan and as an Indian. Mahik Cook, an attorney born in India who serves as a GOP consultant and commentator, told Fox it's the word used back in India to mock outsiders, to say you don't belong. Using it here about your own child raised in the United States carries the same tone as calling someone a derogatory word, or worse. It's flippant, divisive, and dripping with contempt for the very country that gave your family a great life. When Mamdani's mother says her son was never a Firang and only Desi, it's a rejection of America. It's ungrateful, disrespectful, and frankly repulsive to live in this country since age 7 receive every freedom, education, and opportunity America offers, and still deny being American. Mamdani's mother, Nai, went on to emphasize in the interview, we only speak Hindustani at home, and described her son as a very chalu fellow, using a term that is often translated to mean savvy or street smart. He's not very smart. I guess that's one of those mother lies where moms say, oh, my son, he's the smartest in the world. And her son is literally a young Chuck Schumer. Cook goes on, adding further commentary. This isn't just about identity, it's about values. Rejecting the label of American while living under the flag, enjoying the freedoms, and cashing in on the opportunities is a rejection of American values themselves: gratitude, unity, and pride in country. And if you raise your child to believe he was never a Firang, never an American, what message are you sending? That he owes nothing to this nation? That he can take the benefits without any sense of belonging or loyalty? That mindset breeds resentment. And that's exactly what we're seeing play out in politics today. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a national story. This guy's everything we thought he was. An ungrateful brat who's coming to destroy the very things that make America great. Our capitalism might be crony sometimes, but it's what made this country so rich. Being American does not necessarily mean you have to be of a certain ethnicity. It means you have to hold certain values: love of God, love of country, love of the Constitution, love of neighbor. To hold an American passport, but your allegiance is with a different country or a different people, is traitorous. Mamdani should be ashamed of himself, but it be your own mommy that exposes you to the world. His odds of becoming mayor of New York City went from like 95% to 88% after this story came out. The race would be a lot closer if Curtis Sliwa dropped out and let Andrew Cuomo get in, but I don't think Sliwa should do that, or should be expected to do that. He's a Republican, Cuomo is a Democrat, and so is Mamdani. It looks like Mamdani will take that race, but what New Yorkers should do while he's mayor is try to rethink their choices. The Democrats have not been beneficial to you guys at all. Curtis Sliwa would be an amazing mayor, yet you guys won't vote for him? And the New York City billionaires that have been spending a lot of money on Democrats in the last few decades, who are now desperate to stop Mamdani, I hope you learn a very important lesson. If you keep adding fuel to the fire, that fire might very well spread to a place you never wanted it to go. So why don't you just stop buying the fuel altogether and do something else with your money? Or maybe just let the people of New York City pick who they want, as opposed to you shoving a candidate down their throat. Because they got so tired of your preferred choices, they just decided to vote for a full-blown commie, just to spite you. I hope you understand that's what this is about. Thank you all very much for watching. God bless and goodbye.
Okay, everybody. Big show tonight, you guys. Big show. Good to see all the old names back. Gina and Lisa and the one name I can't pronounce. She didn't get back in. Hope she's listening, or he or she listening. And okay. Blue is a better color. So, yeah, she couldn't get the links in the chat. I don't know what happened tonight. But, yep, Lisa and everybody, AJ, and yep, good show tonight, like always. Maria, I hope you're out there. I hope you're unblocked. I'm trying to get you unblocked. So I'll keep working on it. All right. Stay safe, stay strong, keep your faith. Or never give up. And please hit the like. And anything develops, you know me, I'll be honest, if anything big comes, if I get a phone call from anybody. So, all right, you guys, signing off, Chico and Dude. See you all tomorrow. It's Friday. Bless everybody.